Yeah, so hi everyone, and thanks for coming. So my name's Alex, and I'm a percussionist. So so basically, so that's what I do for a living. I play music, and I generally hit things for a living, basically. Um, and I also do a bit of teaching as well, and things like that. I suppose most people would associate percussion with rhythm and providing the beat, especially like playing drum kit in bands and stuff. And I would do a bit of that, but I'd be very much interested in kind of all the different possible sounds that you can get, and kind of I love exploring sounds and things like that. Um, I was just going to say, it's like, so what kind of what brought me like how I started playing music in the first place. So I grew up in a musical family. My parents played the violin. Um, I started off with the violin and piano as well when I was a kid, um, and it was great. But like it just wasn't really, again, it wasn't really for me. I wasn't. It was, it was. I probably would have, had I practiced more, I probably would have found more pleasure in it over time. But I also had to compete with my sister, who was a few years older, and she was amazing at the violin, as a professional violinist now. And I knew that like I wasn't anywhere near her level, so I decided to change. And what fascinated me about percussion was all the stuff that you have, all the different things, and also the fact that you're not playing kind of music that everybody knows all the time. I mean, that's kind of a bit liberating, because there's not, when you're playing something that everybody already knows, especially classical music, everybody has an opinion on how it should sound, and it was great to be free from that. Um, Also, I was very much into numbers as a kid. I counted to like 100,000 as a 5-year-old, and that was like my big achievement. That like um, it was fun, and I did. And I actually studied physics in college. Um, but I'm not actually making my money from physics. I'm making my money from music, um, and so that's what I kind of, yeah, do for a living, and stuff like that. But the thing is, the approach that I kind of took for physics and for music are quite similar in a way, and I've had to actually use, especially lately, I've had to use my knowledge of physics um, to complete tasks that I have to do. Um, I suppose the thing is, as a somebody who's interested in physics and in music, I kind of would be fascinated by just hearing sounds that are going around, and also as a percussionist, um, everything is an instrument, you know. So you'd be walking down the street, and it's hard not to get distracted by like the sound of railings. Actually, I had to collaborate with a friend of mine he's a composer, writes music, and a skateboarder, and he wrote music for a skateboarding video, and put all the sounds in it are percussion instruments. So we had to go around finding stuff. So we got like a radiator, scraping the sides of it, and like hitting anvils and kind of brake drums from cars and all this kind of fun stuff. So it was great crack altogether. Yeah, and like so like for example, like and I'd be fascinated by things like, um, like say an ambulance going past. It starts off like, and it can sound kind of slows down, and as it's passing, and as I was interested in science, and I've always kind of thought, why is that, as a kid, and kind of I'd also realize, oh, that's a major third or a minor third, so like a major third might be versus this, and I'd be like, oh yeah, what music can you associate with that? Um, so this picture at the back there. So because you see, as a musician, you see, people often think musicians need to get a real job, So I actually have to prove myself. I actually have to prove myself here. But that's the thing, because people would be like, oh yeah, these things I just make them for the crack. Do you know what I mean? But it's actually important that you realize that. So this is now set up in the O'Reilly Theatre down, in town, for a show for tonight, and it was premiered yesterday, tonight, and tomorrow. So I'm getting paid for that, and that's kind of also one of the reasons I'm up here. Yeah, so I suppose some of the sounds here, like that I've so you see, some of those things that are here and these instruments are I've had to make myself, and they're kind of, actually, there's not just my idea, they're kind of at the request of other people, and something they need. So these plates, for example, these are brass plates, and they were called in a, they're called upon in some music that I had to play, and the person that wrote the music and the group that hired me to play, they're like it would have cost them like hundreds, maybe even close to the high hundreds to hire them from the UK because they don't exist in the country. So I kind of said, hang on a second, there might be something I could try and figure out. So that's why I kind of had to use my physics knowledge to kind of work out how to tune them, because, and the thing is, I wouldn't have copped that I could do it had I not had some of that knowledge. So, for example, I'll just give you an example of how they sound. Just so you have an idea. So they ring for ages. And the thing is, like with these kind of sounds, I'd always be I'm always like fascinated about sounds. And again, so some of your words that you're using, I thought were really interesting. Like again, like curiosity would be a huge part of mine. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, I think anybody who like if you wrote that curiosity is not associated with music, that's one, like normally I don't say things are lies, but I've said that one is actually lies, because like I know for a fact, so any of these things, like if we weren't here and if these were set up, you'd probably come over and start playing them, and pick up sticks and probably want to hit them. In fact, even we kind of had a practice run with some of the guys in the video, and they were coming up and playing as well. So it's adults, kids, teenagers, everybody is kind of in general curious, about how something was set. Like why else would you come up and play? You're kind of you want to kind of realize how it should sound.